The knock on the door came just after sunset, 3 slow, heavy bangs. When I opened it, 2 police officers stood there, stone-faced, their hands resting on their belts. "Are you Nora Bennett?" one asked. "Yes, why?" "We need you to come with us. You're being investigated for property theft and document forgery." For a second, I couldn't breathe.
What?
There must be a mistake, but they didn't listen. My hands were cuffed before I could finish my sentence. My neighbors stared. My coworkers whispered. And standing just beyond the police car, in her designer coat and fake tears, was my sister, Rachel. She nodded at the officers like she was doing the world a favor, like I wasn't her only family left. She had no idea the house she accused me of stealing was already mine. No idea I had proof. And absolutely no clue what I'd do next. My name is Nora, and I'm 27 years old. The day of my father's funeral was one of the hardest days of my life. After we came back from the cemetery, the house was full of people. Some gave hugs, some just nodded, but everything felt cold and distant. I stayed quiet, holding back tears. My dad had always been there for me. Now he was gone, and nothing felt right. My older sister, Rachel, didn't shed a single tear. She walked around greeting guests like she was hosting an event. That's how she had always been, loud, proud, and always looking down on me. Later that evening, when most of the guests had left, I sat on the couch holding a photo of Dad. Suddenly, the front door opened loudly. I looked up and froze. Rachel walked in with 2 police officers behind her. "What's going on?" I asked, standing up quickly. She crossed her arms and said coldly, "You know exactly what's going on. I'm pressing charges. You stole Dad's house by forging papers after he died." My heart dropped. "That's not true. Dad gave me the house legally before he passed away." "Don't lie," she snapped. "You tricked him. That house was supposed to be shared." One of the officers stepped forward. "Ma'am, we need you to come with us to answer some questions downtown." I looked at Rachel. She was smiling, like she was proud of what she had done. I didn't fight it. I grabbed my coat and walked out with the officers. I felt humiliated. Neighbors watched from their windows. As I got into the police car, I whispered to myself, "She thinks she's won, but she has no idea what's coming." The police station was cold and quiet. I sat in a small room with white walls and a flickering light above my head. My hands trembled, not from guilt, but from shock. I kept thinking, how could Rachel do this to me? How could she lie like that? A detective came in with a folder and sat across from me. He didn't seem angry, just serious. "We received a complaint from your sister," he said. "She claims you forged property documents after your father's death. Do you have anything to say?" I took a deep breath.
Yes.
I didn't forge anything. The house was legally transferred to me while my father was still alive. You can check the dates and the documents. He looked at me for a moment, then nodded slowly. "Do you have proof?" "I do," I replied. "There's a notarized deed, signed and dated last year. My father went to the courthouse with me. I have a certified copy at home." He left the room for a few minutes. When he returned, his expression had changed. "We just pulled the records from the property office," he said. "You're right. The house was legally transferred to your name 11 months ago." A wave of relief rushed through me. He continued, "It looks like your sister made a false claim. We'll be talking to her next." I nodded slowly. "She didn't just lie to you. She tried to ruin my life." He stood up and said kindly, "You're free to go. We're sorry for the trouble." I walked out of that station with my head held high, but something inside me had changed. My sister had tried to destroy me out of jealousy. And I knew then, I wasn't going to let it slide. I got home late that night, emotionally exhausted but strangely calm. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the walls I had once painted with Dad. His favorite chair was still in the corner. For a moment, I felt tears coming, but then I remembered Rachel's smirk as she had me taken away in handcuffs. That image hardened me. She didn't care about the truth. She didn't care about Dad's wishes. All she wanted was the house and control. but she had no idea the house was fully legally mine. So I made a decision. The next morning, I called a real estate agent. "I want to sell my house," I said firmly. Fast. The agent, a friendly woman named Karen, met me the same afternoon. We walked through the place and I pointed out the small upgrades I'd done over the past year: new flooring, painted cabinets, the backyard fence. She was impressed. "This should sell quickly," she said. "The market's strong." "Good," I replied. "The sooner, the better." While the paperwork was being prepared, I mailed Rachel a formal letter, an eviction notice. She had been living in the guest room without my permission, still acting like she owned everything. When the letter arrived, her reaction was just as expected: full meltdown. She called me screaming, "You're kicking me out of Dad's house." "It's not Dad's house anymore," I said calmly. "It's mine. And soon it won't even be that." "You can't do this to me. I didn't do anything to you, Rachel. You did this to yourself."
She hung up on me.
3 weeks later, the house was sold to a quiet, retired couple. On the day they moved in, Rachel stood on the sidewalk with her suitcases, refusing to look at me. She was officially homeless. And I was finally free. After selling the house, I rented a small apartment across town. It wasn't as big or fancy, but it was mine, clean, quiet, and peaceful. For the first time in weeks, I slept without checking over my shoulder. No more surprise police visits. No more angry phone calls. No more Rachel. Or so I thought. One morning, I got a call from the real estate agent, Karen. "Hey, Nora," she said. "The new owners found something hidden behind a drawer in the study room. It's addressed to you." My heart skipped. "What is it?" "They said it looks like a letter. Maybe from your father?" I rushed over that same afternoon. The new owners handed me an old, yellow envelope. My name, Nora, was written in Dad's handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a short letter and a bank envelope. The letter read, "My dear Nora, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. I wanted to give this to you earlier, but I was waiting for the right time. You've always been the strong one. I've left you something, $350,000 in a trust account. You'll find the bank details enclosed. This money is yours alone. Use it for your dreams. Build something for yourself. And remember, don't let anyone take your light away. Not even your sister. Love always, Dad." I gasped. $350,000? I opened the bank envelope. Everything was real. Account details, balance statements, even a card to access the funds. All untouched. Tears filled my eyes. Not because of the money, but because he still believed in me, even when he was gone. He had prepared for everything, even Rachel's betrayal. That night, I made another decision. I was going to use this gift to build something that was mine, and make sure Rachel never saw a single cent of it. The next morning, I sat at my small kitchen table with Dad's letter in one hand and my laptop open in front of me. I kept reading his final words. "Use it for your dreams." I knew exactly what that meant. For years, I dreamed of opening my own design firm, specializing in cozy, affordable interiors for people like me who didn't grow up with money. I had sketches, mood boards, and even business name ideas. But I never had the funds to start. Until now. I registered my company the same week, Nora Living Spaces. I rented a small office in a shared workspace downtown and hired a freelance web designer to build a clean, professional website. I ordered business cards, launched social media accounts, and started posting content every day, design tips, before and after photos, client stories. To my surprise, the response was overwhelming. My first real client was a single mother who had inherited an old, rundown apartment. She cried when she saw what I did with her living room. "You made it feel like a home," she said, hugging me. Word spread fast. Within 2 months, I had 3 full-time clients, and my name started showing up in local blogs. My inbox was full of inquiries. I finally hired 2 part-time assistants to help manage the work. I was making money doing what I loved. But just when things were going well, Rachel came back. She showed up outside my new office one afternoon, wearing oversized sunglasses and a bitter expression. You really think you're better than me now? She snapped, arms crossed. I didn't even flinch. I don't have to think it, Rachel. I just am. Her face turned red. I need a job. I stared at her, silent for a moment. Then I smiled. Oh, you'll get one. Just not here. I turned and walked back inside. Security politely asked her to leave. That night, I got an idea. A bold one. And it would be the final twist Rachel never saw coming. A week after Rachel showed up at my office, I got a call from a local business podcast host. She had seen my client photos online and wanted to feature me in a Rising Female Founders episode. I agreed, and the interview aired the following Monday. What I didn't expect was how fast it would go viral. By Wednesday, thousands of people had viewed it. My inbox exploded with job offers, collaboration requests, and clients from out of state. But the message that caught my eye wasn't from a stranger. It was from Rachel. She emailed me using a fake name, pretending to be a job seeker with a glowing resume. She even scheduled an interview using one of my assistant's booking links. She didn't know I'd already seen her name in the system, and I had a plan. The day of the interview, I sat in the CEO chair of my new studio, dressed in a sleek navy suit. When the door opened and Rachel walked in, she froze. Her eyes widened. You, she whispered. Yes, me. I replied calmly. Have a seat. She sat slowly, clearly confused. I opened her fake resume and placed it on the desk. Interesting experience, I said, tapping the paper. But you forgot to include one line. Try to send her own sister to jail for something she didn't do. She went silent. I leaned in. Rachel, you didn't just lie. You tried to ruin my life. And now you want to work for me? I'm desperate, Nora, she muttered. I have nowhere to go. I paused, then smiled coldly. This office has security cameras. This conversation is being recorded. Just so you know. I stood up. You can leave now. And don't come back. 2 security guards entered. Rachel stood, humiliated, and walked out without a word. A week later, I partnered with a streaming service producing a new docuseries about female entrepreneurs who overcame family betrayal. My story became the pilot episode. Rachel? She saw the whole thing on screen, from a friend's couch. And me? I was just getting started. 6 months later, I stood on the stage of a local entrepreneur conference, the spotlight warm on my face. My name was displayed on a giant screen behind me. Nora Bennett, founder and CEO of Nora Living Spaces. The audience clapped as I spoke about my journey, about heartbreak, betrayal, and building something from the ashes. After the talk, people lined up to shake my hand. A few even shared their own painful family stories. I realized then that what I went through wasn't rare, but rising from it, that's what inspired them. I walked off the stage, heart full, knowing Dad would have been proud. Later that evening, I visited his grave for the first time in months. I brought flowers, his favorite kind, marigolds, and sat on the grass. Hey, Dad, I whispered. The house is gone now. But don't worry, I built something even better. The wind was quiet, gentle. I used the money you left me, not just to build a business, but to build myself. I stayed a while in silence. And for the first time, I didn't feel angry or broken. Just free. As for Rachel, I heard she moved to another city. Word got around that she tried to start her own business, but with no support and no experience, it quickly failed. She blamed everyone but herself, as usual. She once said I'd never be anything without her. Now, she watches my success from afar, while I continue to grow, speak at events, and even mentor young designers starting out. Dad was right. No one could take my light away. And I've made sure of one thing ever since. No matter what life throws at me, I'll never let anyone else hold a pen to my story again.